Hear him out.
Hi, Tyler. Welcome to the show. So, before anything, I just want to ask, how have you been doing this quarantine? Like, have you had any routines or hobbies that you've been following?
First of all, thanks for having me here, Nina. Good to be here. So far, I think just trying to stay consistent with my workout routine. The coaches from Ateneo give us a certain workout to do each day, and then we just have to send videos through Telegram.
Every day, you guys have to send a video
Well, not every day, around 5 or 6 times a week.
at any time.
Yeah, anytime. That's the good thing about it, I guess. But other than that, well, I've just been like playing video games, just chilling.
So, I think we also need to tell the listeners, if ever, that it's raining wherever we are and that there might be thunder, like sound from time to time.
Yeah.
So let's start with you starting basketball. So how'd that go? I mean, like when you started in Xavier, did you already knew that you wanted to play basketball, or did someone introduce that to you?
Well, actually, I started playing basketball when I was like 6 years old. My brother and my dad introduced me to the game because they'd always watch NBA games on TV. So I guess I just kind of got hooked naturally with the. But sorry, this thunder. um, from a competitive standpoint, I started when I was around 9 years old. I was just playing with the XBA players back then in Xavier, and one of the coaches there introduced me to the varsity coach, and then I tried out, and then long story short, I got in.
What were your most memorable games in Xavier, both in grade school and high school? Just name any.
Most memorable games, grade school would definitely be. I think it was Mini Paya. That was the name of the tournament. I was around grade six. We played against Ateneo in the finals, and I scored 52 points that game. But
52,
then,
grabe.
but
Oh
then,
my,
hold up, there's a twist.
oh my god.
My future teammate Jolo Mendoza was on the other team, and he scored 60 points,
Oh my
and
god.
and we lost. We lost by 8 points. The
Oh
irony.
my god.
Yeah.
That's grade six, and then you guys were scoring like 50, 60. Oh
Yeah,
my
because
god.
we were super tall for sixth graders. We were already like 5'6", 5'7" back then.
I'm not even 5'6", 5'7". Dang!
Yeah.
You guys were also competitors in high school, right?
Yeah, we were. We really didn't get to play against the UAAP and NCAA teams much because they had their own tournaments. But I think the most memorable for me would be, I think it was Prada Juniors. We were against LaSalle Green Hills naman in the finals. I think it went to like triple overtime.
Oh my god.
So yeah, we won that game, and I ended up scoring like, I think 51, something like that, or 52 again. I forgot.
That triple overtime, though, that must have been so fun to watch. I mean, as someone who's gonna watch, that's gonna be so fun to watch. But weren't you tired?
Yeah, dude, super. As in, I think half the team was cramping up by the
Um,
second overtime. I don't know how we got through that third overtime. Daming fouls so the game was kind of slower.
Galing pa rin, though. I mean, triple overtime, that's like really good competition.
Yeah, super. And I think that was against like the seniors of LaSalle Green Hills, and we were like sophomores. So that was a super big accomplishment in our eyes, at least.
Yeah, it is. It is. So I heard you were recruited also by other schools aside from Xavier. What made you choose to stay in Xavier?
Yeah, actually, I was being recruited by Ateneo and LaSalle Green Hills at that time, but I think they were offering like a 1/4 scholarship, something like that. I don't know. I think I was really comfortable na rin kasi in Xavier, and we figured that if I stayed in Xavier and I did well and I stood out, then I would still have a chance to make it to college ball. So I think that paired with the Chinese education then in Xavier. My parents wanted me to study Chinese then. So I think that was the icing on the cake.
Ooh, one pride, one glory. Joke. So you were in the junior NBA. You were in the 10 best young basketball players in 2013. Who were you with in that category? Like that it boosted your confidence.
Let's see, we had Gian Mamuyak, my teammate now, Richie Rivero. Who else made it up to college ball? Mark Osario made it to Letran, I think, Team A 1 year. Miguel Fortuna was in Glory B. Yeah, those were the guys that made it up to the next level, to college ball.
So was that the moment that you realized that you could pursue collegiate basketball career?
I wouldn't say that was like the exact moment, but it definitely helped my confidence because for me to know that I was one of the top 10 in that camp and I was with pretty well known players, that really helped my confidence. And I don't know, I guess it just motivated me to work even harder. I guess when I was invited to the training camp of Ateneo in Las Vegas, I think I was a junior in high school that time, and they invited me to train with them sa Impact. From that point on, I knew na schools were kind of looking at me, so I felt that I had a chance that time.
So ever since 2013, you were already amongst like you were already at that level, and for sure colleges were already looking to recruit and were already hearing your name. So about the recruitment out of high school, what made you choose Ateneo over other schools, especially like over La Salle, right? They also recruited you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the trip to Vegas was kind of a big deal for me because I was able to bond with the players then, and I saw like the culture that was in place for Ateneo. I saw that players were really close and the players were like supportive of each other off the court and on the court. So there's that. And I guess probably the fact that my two siblings went to Ateneo was pretty big factor too. So yeah, they kind of influenced me to, you know, go over to the to the right side, quote unquote.
So that Vegas trip, right? Did you get to train with them? Is that like why you chose them also, or not yet?
Yeah, I trained with them for that summer for about 2 weeks, I think. But I didn't choose Ateneo yet at that time. I chose them like a year later now when I was about to enter college. But actually the next closest I would say is probably UP.
Ooh.
I practiced with them siguro for a week, mga 5 times siguro before I even trained with Ateneo, I think. So they were pretty close. They were a close second for me.
What if you went to UP kaya? How would that be?
I don't know.
That would be so different. So in your first year, diba, UAP season 79, so about your eligibility, how did you spend that year? And actually, how did you first feel about it? And like, how were you able to overcome it? Because when I heard that news, I felt so sad, and I don't know how we were able to cope with that. So, can you share to us how you were able to do that?
Well, obviously, I was super disappointed because I really wanted to play my first year, of course, and I trained like the whole off season with the team na, diba? I went through all the training camps, the boot camps, went through all the suffering, and then 2 weeks before the season, they told me that I was out. So it was really tough for me, but I guess it was a blessing in disguise then because I was able to ayun, I practiced with Team Glory B for that sem, and I was able to get acclimated with the college life because I was a freshman, so I needed some time to adjust into the academics, the culture. So I guess that really helped then because the workload in terms of basketball wasn't as heavy as if I made it to Team A. I just see it as a blessing in disguise. And now years later, I have an extra playing year pa. So there's that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you finally got to play in season 80, how did it feel? Like, was it what you were expecting?
I guess pretty much, yeah. It felt super it was super fun, especially that the first time I stepped out on the court, goosebumps talaga. Playing in front of a crowd like that. There's no greater feeling.
Ateneo has one of the wildest crowds. They're so supportive and so loud when they cheer. My God,
They are.
napapacheer na din ako eh. Minsan, I'm just like, there's so many.
Pero wild din yung UP crowd. Respect to the UP crowd.
Well, we are all very loud just in general. So when everyone just comes together, it's Battle of Katipunan is like one of my favorite games.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Super fun.
The energy, everyone's just so loud and just they're just cheering. It's fun to watch. Not only the players actually, but like the crowd. It's so
Yeah, for
funny.
sure.
So, what was your favorite game? Not including playoffs yet, like ever.
Probably that first game against UP because that was the first time I stepped onto the court and first time to feel the energy of the crowd. So it was a really surreal moment for me. And thankfully I played well in that game. So super memorable for sure.
So, how about including playoffs na? What's your favorite game?
Probably game 2 of the finals against UP. UP ulit eh. No? Sorry, sorry.
Well, well, I gotta admit, I always enjoy watching UP Ateneo naman. So,
Yeah, super. It's different. The crowd, the electricity, it's different. Especially because we won that game and we finally got that second championship. And I think that was the year that I got the most opportunity then to play because Matt got injured that year. So yeah, and I guess that was the most memorable for me for sure.
oh, that's so nice. I'm so happy one of your most memorable is with the UP. I really love the UP Ateneo rivalry. Like, okay, sorry, I'm just gonna mention it here. I'm so sorry, but so you know Denise Dinsay, right?
Yeah, I do.
We have this bet all the time, chicken nuggets. So like
Hmm.
whoever wins has
Oh,
to
okay.
will get chicken nuggets from someone else. So
So have you ever gotten chicken nuggets?
okay, no, but you know that was the year. Okay, you know what? Okay, moving on to the next
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
question.
I'm sorry.
Joke lang. So, what was your favorite shot or play? I'm sure you have a favorite play in mind.
Huh. I, I'm gonna say a play against UP again.
Oh my
Probably that lob to Ange in the elimination, one of the elimination games. Yeah, and so I came off a pick and roll, and then I saw Bright was helping, so I just kind of lobbed it up softly to Ange, and then he dunked it.
I don't know why, but I feel like I remember that. And the, oh my god. Okay. Okay na. Okay. So, well, your favorite's always against UP. Understandable.
I think it's just a coincidence. Just a coincidence.
So, how was your personal life, as a student athlete? Like, what's the biggest challenge you ever faced?
Let's see. Definitely the just balancing academics and basketball, especially during the season, because we have to miss so many classes, especially on Wednesdays. So it's tough to kind of catch up with what's going on with the class, but kaya naman so far, thankfully. But yeah, I think it's just that the balancing of time, I guess, and
Yeah.
making sure that your academics are still in line
Yeah, definitely. I mean, time management is hard, but I think what's also harder is energy management
for sure.
because you have to be able to have enough energy for academics after training, or you need to be able to like sleep enough to buffer training. So, what are your tips for that for time and energy management?
I think just make sure that you do what you have to do first. before doing anything else. Like before you go out to have fun, make sure that all your requirements are done. Make sure that you know what's going on in class so that you don't have to cram the night before a test, something like that. I don't know. I guess in terms of training, there's really not much you can do with the time because it's really time consuming. So I mean, you can't save energy during training, so you have to go all out.
Yeah.
And I guess when you get home, that's when you kind of have to make some sacrifices. Like instead of staying up to watch your favorite Netflix show or something, you need to go to bed
Yeah.
so you get those 7 to 8 hours of sleep. You're fresh for the next training the next day.
So you're able to maintain that 7 hour like sleep of yours?
I am
Oh
actually.
my god.
Yeah, 7 to 8 hours. Pero minsan hindi. Sometimes it's hard to sleep because our training is super late. It's at 5:30 to 9 p.m. So when I get home, it's kind of like I'm still kind of amped up from training. My heart's still beating fast, so it's hard to go to sleep.
So you've never had an all nighter and then went to training?
Definitely have had one of those, but it's not often because I try my best to work in advance in terms of academics so that I don't have to do that.
Dang. Why did I do that a lot? Joke.
Baka mas mahirap sa UP.
Or I'm not just good at time management. Joke.
or that.
Yeah. So what's your biggest achievement as a student and an athlete?
I think my achievement won't count as an achievement to you guys, but just the fact that I maintained decent grades for me is an achievement because
That's an achievement.
yeah, because yeah, like I mentioned earlier, it's really hard to manage your time and your energy. So when I get decent grades like a 3.0 and above, that's already a huge achievement for me.
Okay, so now moving on to the Ateneo team. So what's your favorite championship? Or is it UP? It's UP now.
It is actually.
Oh my god, I knew it. Okay, why is that your favorite championship? Like I feel like I know.
It's not because it's against UP. It's because that was the year talaga na I felt that I had the most opportunity to showcase what I could do. Yeah, and I felt like I was really able to help the team, which is, I mean, that's really all any player wants to do naman is to be able to contribute when it matters the most, diba? Yeah, and that's definitely why it was memorable for me.
Who among your teammates has had the biggest influence on you?
Ooh, I mean, all of them, definitely. Let's see. Can I name more than one?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I guess. Well, of course, we have Isaac because we've been teammates since we were in grade school. So the fact that he was there in Ateneo before I got there was a pretty big thing for me. Yeah, and he was there to help me out with with everything, with the system, if I had any questions,
Mhm.
or just the culture in Ateneo, the profs, mga ganun. Yeah, and there's Isaac. And then we have the Nieto brothers who were one of the leaders. Then yeah, Mike was our captain for like 2 or 3 years, I think. So definitely had a big influence. Matt was our starting point guard the whole time I was there. So definitely learned a lot from him during practices, games. Saw how he was super competitive with everything. Honestly, everyone eh.
Yeah.
It's tough because if I name everyone, it might take all night. But yeah, everyone for sure,
I mean, it's a team, and everyone has definitely had a huge influence to who you are, not just as an athlete, but you as a person. I mean,
for
every
sure,
team is always like they make being a student athlete easier, no?
definitely, yeah.
So, what are the best lessons you learned from Coach Tab?
I think number one would be mental toughness because I'm sure it's well known that Coach Tab is a disciplinarian type of coach. He's pretty strict when it comes to team rules, when it comes to the system, what he wants done on and off the court. So, sometimes it can, if you're not mentally tough, it can be taxing. But yun, I learned that he just wants the best for us naman. So even when we don't make it to the pro level, for sure that the mental toughness that we've learned from him will still help us.
Do you get to see him outside of training and games, or like it's just a fully professional?
I mean, we see him mostly at team functions off the court, but yeah, I would say it's a pretty professional relationship when it comes to Coach Tab. But at the same time, he's a really good person to be around off the court as well. It's just that, I guess we just don't have that as many chances to hang out with him off the court compared to on the court because we're literally together every day already on the court. So
Is he strict with anything you guys do outside the court though? Like, does he watch your diet or anything?
he has a lot of suggestions, but he's not like the type to like punish you if you don't follow a certain diet. But he definitely tells us what he thinks is the best diet and stuff like that. But he's not the type to like do this or else or eat this or else you're out of the team, something like that. Di naman ganun.
Okay. What can we expect from you in the future? Like your future with Ateneo and then future in and outside of basketball.
Let's see. For my future at Ateneo, I guess you can expect me to just keep working. I mean, I can't control how I'm gonna play, but I can control how hard I work, how often I train, stuff like that. So that's what you can expect from me is to give 110%. But, I guess in terms of my play on the court, I mean, you can't really control that. So I'm just gonna hope for the best and just trust the process.
Just the process. Always.
Yes, sir.
How about after Ateneo? Are you thinking of basketball?
My plan is to definitely make it to the pros, whether it's the PBA or wherever. But if that doesn't work out, thinking of probably getting into business, something like that. But I'm not really sure yet. As of now, I'm kind of focusing on making it to the pros.
Good luck with everything there.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, what's one thing the listeners have to hear that isn't said enough?
I think I kind of said it already. Trust the process. I think that's said a lot, but sometimes people don't actually understand what that means. So I guess what I mean is that when you trust the process, it just means you focus on the things that you can control. For example, for basketball, you can't control the amount of playing time your coach gives you or how well you play during a game, but you can control how hard you train, how many extra shots you get up the week before a game, nutrition, how much sleep you get. You can control all those things, hydration, stuff like that. So yeah, and I guess just focus on the things that you can control and just hope for the best when it comes to the outcome because if you just focus on the results then I don't think it's a very fulfilling. At the end of the day, it's about the process. It's about the journey, not the end result.
I like what you said about controlling only what you can control because that's the only thing you can do. And I think that can be applied to right everything that's happening right now. I mean, with quarantine and with the disease going around. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
all we can do is just control what we can control and just
Exactly.
trust the process if there is a process here. Joking.
I mean, yeah, in terms of what's happening right now, I guess the things you can control is like wear a mask or
Yeah, exactly.
sanitize, stay at home if you don't have to go out.
Yeah,
So the little things like that will not only help you, but probably also your loved ones too.
exactly. That's
Hmm.
that's so right. Okay, so do you want to give a shout out to anyone?
Shout out to my to my family, the Tio family, my dad, my mom. my brother Tristan, sister Ida, Andy. If you're listening, shout out to you.
Hi, Andy.
The Lim family. I guess that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you again for being on our show. This has been Hear Him Out.
My pleasure. Thanks, Nina.